You know what? I'm going to have to change the name of this podcast.
Two?
Well, it says That Financial Guy. And we got two of them here.
Right.
What do you think about those financial guys?
Do we have to work on our pronouns?
We're not going to have any pronouns. They, them, those.
Them financial people.
And now, That Financial Guy Show with Keith Wilson.
For now, it's That Financial Guy, and we have two of them.
What are we doing?
We have two of them on board.
Why did you drag me here?
Well, I like your ideas of financial planning. I like mine better, but you're a little bit louder on social, and you demand attention. So, no, really, I want you to talk about RES.
What do you mean?
RES.
Can you bet? What do you mean demand attention?
I meant command attention.
Oh, command attention. Okay.
But some could say that you demanded, but you definitely commanded.
Those are
You
issues.
have a presence. This is Ruffalo. This is Anthony Ruffalo, certified financial planner.
Certified financial planner.
That's the way he says it.
I don't understand why. And you notice a lot of people do their intros like that now.
Certified financial planner?
Yeah. It goes name, first name, last name, certified financial planner. There's nobody else who was doing that before. I mean, it's cheesy. I can't claim that I'm the first one to use it, but literally, because it actually is kind of annoying to have to start a video cold from scratch. It's like, how am I, like, whom, hey guys, how are you? Or
I remember what mine, well, back up. If y'all haven't followed us, we met probably 5, maybe 6 years ago.
Yeah.
Late 2018, definitely in 2019. We were posting a lot of content on LinkedIn and Facebook and so forth. Financial topics. And I remember the first time I saw you, your face just filled up the screen and you were just yelling this and that and the other. Anthony Ruffalo, certified financial planner. And you stuttered a lot. But you commanded
I didn't stutter.
attention.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you
I
did.
did not stutter.
Your very first video, you had this plastic fireman's hat from, the neighborhood children. But in any case, we got a lot of attention on LinkedIn, especially during pandemic. Everybody's home.
Yeah, it was nice.
And then
Just luck.
We just started collaborating. You came up to my office. I went down to yours. We were about, a little over 2 hours away. Mm-hmm. Not too bad.
2 hours and 14 minutes, according to my GPS yesterday.
Then in your genius, you birthed Truthful Mutual.
Can you say it one more time? In my what?
In your genius.
Genius. Thank you. Appreciate that.
In your genius, you birthed Truthful Mutual, and it just became an ongoing series. I think we've got 10 episodes where we're just kind of, mocking the insurance industry or really the agencies. It's not the insurance companies. It's the background of what we came through.
Yeah, it's the agency system. It's the agency system, how they bring people into the business, and then how the agency system abuses product sales.
Go sell a product, make commissions, and they make overrides.
Yeah, the way it works is you have a manager, and then the manager will just try and hire as many young people or as many people as humanly possible, and they get a piece of their business. And you just duplicate that over and over again until you have one person that's a rock star, and then that person gets promoted to manager, and then they try and duplicate the process.
Revolving door.
It's kind of sad.
We went down. We still do it. We have fun with it, but we want to talk about true financial planning. What does that mean? What does a financial advisor mean? Just giving financial advice, right? But how are we going to break that up? If somebody's pushing a product, life insurance or annuities or long-term care, and that's all they do, and they call themselves a financial advisor, I mean, it's not, that part hasn't been regulated. I mean, they can still do that.
It's challenging. It's a very challenging thing.
Challenging.
Really challenging.
When I say true financial planning, when we meet with clients that have specific goals, I want to retire at 55. I want $10,000 a month to spend. I want, a vacation home. What's my number? How do I get there? And oh, by the way, I want to send the kids to college, and I want to make sure my spouse is taken care of in the event of a premature death. And wait a minute, what about your estate planning documents? Do we need a living trust? Is that in the picture at all? And then once it's built, it's a blueprint. It's a roadmap.
Yeah.
It's not, and all this stuff about one-page plan, I guess that's good.
I mean, you can just, it's not one page is more of a way to distill it down in a palatable form where it's actionable.
Step 1, step 2, step 3.
But there's no such thing. You can't have a plan in a page. There's just no, you can have a course of action in one page, or you could have a checklist of things that you need to get done in one page. But there's no way you can have a one-page financial plan that is of enough substance. It's just not possible.
It's good to give, after you develop the plan, it's good to give to the client, say, okay, like you said, here are your action steps.
Absolutely. It's a great deliverable.
If you overwhelm them with all that's going on, you know what needs to be taking place, and it's something that is easily digestible. And then we meet again. All right, now let's go over the next step and so forth. But you said something on LinkedIn or somewhere.
I say a lot of things.
You say a lot of things. But specifically what I thought, you call it RES, Retirement, Education, and Survivorship. And are you essentially saying that's really what we're accomplishing when we build a financial plan?
So a couple of things. So it started with, years ago, I shared my dad owns a property and casualty agency, and my dad, when starting out, was one of my biggest fans, and I would hear him on the phone talking to some of his clients, say, oh, you got to talk to my son, trying to help me get business. I'd hear him, and he'd be like, oh, my fun, if you need any financial planning, let me know. If you need any financial planning, let me know. And I would listen to him, and it dawned on me, I'm like, he does not know how to explain what I do, because it was confusing me listening to him. And I'm like, oh my God, the client on the other end of the line, his client was, they like him, they love him. And they're like, yeah, they just patronize. Yeah, of course, we'll call him if we need. But he wasn't giving them anything actionable of substance or describing anything. Financial planning is such a generic, vague, abstract, ambiguous term. Uh-huh. It could mean so many different things. So from there, I realized, all right, first I need a concise way to break this down and articulate it in a way where somebody goes, oh, I get it. That's what it is. So that's number one, where I created the framework, RES, Retirement, Education, Survivorship. And then taxes and investments are always, the common thread with any financial plan. So those are for my accumulators. And then decumulators, I have a different acronym. It's DRILL. We drill down for retirement. It's distribution management, risk management, and legacy. And legacy is different than survivorship. Survivorship is you're just surviving. It's, hey, what happens if my husband or wife doesn't make it home? You're surviving. Legacy is much more intentional. Legacy is the ultimate disposition of an estate after the second death. And it's a planned, we know that's when you're in retirement and you're in your 80s, we know we want to plan for a legacy. And then on the decumulator side with drill, when you drill down, it's still taxes and investments are the common thread. So I established those kind of two frameworks to work within. And that covers 90% of I think middle America. So if I just spend my time, when people come in, it's a case of that you don't know what you don't know.
Right.
They want you, hey, you're the advisor. You tell me, what should I be worrying about? What do I need from you?
You still have to start with their dreams and goals. And I know what you're saying is there's a lot of common ones. I want to travel. I want to see the grandchildren. I want to do that.
But to me, that's not a goal. That's a given
All right, what's the difference?
Of what you want to do, of what people want to do. It's indicative of retirement.
It's still, in my opinion, it's still a goal of travel. You want to travel. Where I drill down on that when they say, I want to do some traveling. Well, what do you mean? Because if you meet with 20 people and they all say we want to travel, you could have 20 definitions of travel. Does that mean you want to travel outside of the U.S.?
Correct.
Does that mean you want to rent an RV and see all 50 states?
Right.
Does it mean, cruises? Because we need to plan accordingly. Because, all right, we want to go travel internationally 5 times a year. That's a little more expensive than renting an RV. So I want them to tell me, because I want them to envision what they're going to do. And 9 times out of 10, depending on their age and where they are, they'll say, I want to do this, but I don't think we can. And then, why do you not? Well, I've only got this, which is another funny thing. Some people, when they say, we only have this, well, what do you have? And they end up having 3 million, 4 or 5 million. Well, that's plenty. Others say, I think we're set, and they got 150,000, 200,000. So we really want to drill down. The RES, retirement, education part, planning for, college funding for the kids, and then the survivorship. I forgot about your other one, which is the drill, and that's the decumulators. That's when you're retired. Mm-hmm. And we got to unwind your nice ball of
totally different
twine.
Framework.
Now it's time to spend. Mm-hmm. And let's talk about that a little bit, because I have a lot of clients, because I've been doing it for 30 years, and I've seen them accumulate great savers. Now it's retirement day, and they're scared to death. Mm-hmm. No matter what the plan. Look, you got this. But they've got that sense of always saving, and I'm encouraging to spend. Mm-hmm. And then you have others on the opposite side where they're going crazy. So that's part of the financial planning aspect of it too, to show this can be done. Some of it's math.
Yeah.
Some of it's between your ears, the client's ears, your gray matter up there, and getting them to move forward with things. So
sure, it's the psychology of shifting from a accumulation mindset to a decumulation mindset, and giving yourself the permission to spend. And where does that come from? That comes from, well, the same behavioral characteristics that made you successful, which is self-discipline and hard work, and the ability to save and invest, or the emotional capacity to weather the ups and the downs in the markets. So those qualities are in conflict with giving yourself the permission to spend. And a lot of what I see is people that have accumulated large lump sums, especially the boomers, a lot of it is fear driven from, they're afraid they don't want to run out of money. They're trying to unwind that now. So yes, you have to, it starts with the mathematical retirement equation. Mm-hmm. Of, hey, this is everything you have, and this is what's possible. So based on all of your assets, here's what we think is sustainable on a net after-tax basis as far as income goes.
Let me ask you this. When people come to you wanting a financial plan, what's the largest or most common goal that people have with wanting a financial plan?
What most people in their 30s and 40s want is validation of what they're doing.
Okay. Where I was going with that.
Well, it's the same. They don't know what the goal is. They come
I got you.
They can't articulate it. So, which is my point, which is, as a financial advisor, I think it's...
You have to funnel them down to get them to be a little more specific.
I think, actually, now that I'm thinking, you're pressing me on it, I'm thinking through it, it's not. I don't consider retirement, education, and survivorship. I don't consider those goals.
What do you consider? What word would you use?
Those are. That's how you create financial stability, financial success in your life.
All right. What if somebody comes to you and they say,
that's not a goal. A goal to me, a goal is, hey, I want to. Here are my assets. Here are my resources. Yeah. And in 4 years, I don't want to work in my corporate job anymore, and I want to start this business. Can you show me the best financial path to? That's to me is that's a goal.
How about this? I'm 40. I want to.
You are not 40. You're not even.
I remember when I was 40. What
was that? 20 years ago, you were 40.
That's about right. Yeah. Now, how about this? Somebody comes out. I'm 40. I want to stop working at age 55 and I want to retire. This is what I've got. What do I need to get to that point? That's a goal.
Of course.
That's a goal.
Yes.
It's the same thing as your person saying, I want to quit this corporate job and do something else at this age.
Got it. But it's
still a goal that we have to plan for.
Got it.
I said all of that. I was trying to get you to lead down to, I'll just say it. In my practice, the common theme is retirement. That's the biggest goal. That it takes the largest amount of money to get there. And then we walk them through, when do you want to retire? And some folks, I don't know. Or a lot of times with the younger ones, 40, 50, as soon as I can. Mm-hmm. Then it's up to us to do the math, the cash flows, the tax planning, asset location, things like that to say yay or nay, or we need to tweak. If you want to do this at this age with this amount of money, this is what it's going to take. Are you willing to do that? Retirement
is, are you saving enough to just get on? Are you on track for a basic age 65 retirement? And that's always where I start. And that's my starting point. And then I let people work backwards from there. So, and then education. So do you have children? If you do have children, what are your thoughts on education? And there's no right or wrong way to eat a Reese's. Like you don't have to pay for college. My goal is to get them thinking about it, and I want to hear their thoughts on it. Because I have some clients who said, my college was paid for 100% and I'm going to do whatever I need to do, even to the detriment of my own retirement. If I even have to work longer, I am paying 100% of my kids' college. I've had people say that. I've also had people say, this is what we're paying $50,000. And if they go, we want to save $50,000. Yeah. And that's it. Above and beyond that, that's on them. And I've had other people say, zero. We're not paying for anything. That's on them. And there's no judgment. It's what is important for you and your value set. But it is most certainly the crux of I think it's the cornerstone of your middle class family, and it's a point that needs to be addressed in the financial plan. And then you have survivorship. Survivorship is well, let's back up. I want to finish with the education.
Go ahead.
We'll go to survivorship. I want to save for my college, my kids' college. Aren't you a little old for college?
I'm speaking in third person. I had a client that came into my office.
Rodney Dangerfield back to school?
Yeah.
They'd be great.
Anyway, so some folks say, the majority of my folks, once I lay everything out, say, well, I want to get to the point where it's $50,000 in an account.
Right.
And that's it. Or some 100, or spread out if they have different kids. There's a dollar amount that they have in their head. Once I've got that, then no more saving, let growth take over. And that's it. If they need to get a student loan or go to junior college. Most of my folks do that.
And it's also part of the conversation is awareness of how damn expensive.
Yeah, and when I show you know how much it costs to go to
it's bananas.
Chapel Hill.
It's
Chapel
like
Hill.
It's like $25,000 a year.
Yep,
it's crazy.
$27,632.
And there's
in today's dollars.
Today,
so, if you've got
I do the calculations for a living.
Yeah, if you have a newborn, I mean, it's astronomical.
It's a kidney, is what it is.
And
It'll cost you a kidney.
So when you talk to middle America, you're on the hook for over $100,000 in today's dollars. Oh, well, no. Let's reach that dollar amount. They're going to have some, skin in the game themselves. And the common thing is if it's going to hurt your own retirement, everybody's heard this before. You can get a loan for college. You can't get a loan for retirement.
Mm-hmm.
And the other thing about when you're on an airplane, you put a mask on you first before you put it on your child. So
now, have you ever looked at
because the kids will have to take care of you. Maybe they've got a PhD and they're going to be your caregiver because you have nothing.
Yeah. But I will. So have you ever looked at? I looked at some numbers. I don't have them off the top of my head, but I ran them. Paying for the opportunity cost of using I'm going to say a 529 plan because that's, has tax-free growth as long as you use it for qualified educational expenses for college. If you have the ability to drop money, a lump sum of money and front-end load a 529 plan at like age 0 or 1, and you get 18 years of compounding tax-free growth, hypothetically, the net dollars out of your net dollars or of the family out of pocket for education are significantly
lower.
Way lower.
Way lower. Versus
when you run the numbers, and I have the whole thing laid out. Again, I don't have them off the top of my head, but if a family doesn't fund anything, and then that kid gets to college 18 years later, and then they have to finance it, right? So the kid comes out of school, or the kid goes to college, and then takes out $150,000 in loans. Then they graduate college, and then they have a 20-year repayment schedule with interest, and that's 20 years of debt payments that they have to make. And I had this whole equation late. I mean, it is hundreds of thousands of dollars when you factor in what that kid could have been doing out of college had he not had to make those debt repayments for 20 years. It's hundreds of thousands, and if you have 2 kids, it's millions of dollars. The numbers become astronomical, and that's just with funding college. Now, not everybody is in the position to lump sum fund college.
I've had several,
especially
with inheritance from grandparents or great grandparents. Throw in a boatload of money. When I say a boatload, maybe $50,000, just like you said, from day one. And then
just simple rule of 70, rule of 72. If you're getting 7%, that 50 will become 100 in 10 years.
And then in 220.
Right. So somewhere in 18 years.
So with the E of the RES, the education, I think it's really a balance between the retirement. Like you said, some people are going to say, I'm going to sacrifice my whole retirement if I have to. To me, I'm going to just try to open their eyes and say, well, wait a minute. We got to have a balance there. All right, let's.
Anyways,
with the survivorship and the accumulators, obviously we're talking about risk management. We're talking about life insurance. We're talking about basic estate planning.
So when I work with clients one-on-one, before you even get into insurance, because it seems like that's what survivorship is, it's just a simple question of if you don't come home tonight, what is going to happen to the other? And when I'm in when I'm in a meeting, I'll ask them like, what happens? Forget about financially. What are you going to do? I don't know how. At least once a week, I have to explain to somebody that there's no such thing as a joint 401k, that there is no such thing as a joint IRA. I mean, just that super basic, when we talk to asset structure and how things move, I think we as a financial advisor community, we just forget how much knowledge we have
and how much we
take for granted.
kind of take it for granted. And
I'm sorry, what were you going to say before I
well,
cut you off?
I forgot. I think I was just going to say start with your beneficiary designations and basic beneficiary designations, and then, the insurance word, life insurance, have enough that's appropriate. We're not going to get into a big old life insurance thing. But
it's the basic conversation.
Yes. And so getting back to just core financial planning stuff. And most people think that you and me and all these other planners, financial advisors, it's all about investing their money. Now, the investments are intertwined with retirement. We got to invest it to get you to that mark.
Sure.
According to your goals, time horizon, all that stuff. College education plan, we got to invest that to get you to the goal. There's investments, but that's the core, all that RES. I call it something different. I
know you do.
I call it accumulation, protection, and distribution.
That's horrible. How did you come up with that? It's
I
so
don't
confusing.
know. RES sounds like some kind of sleep disorder. It really does. I went to the doctor the other day and he said I got
diagnosed
RES.
with RES. That was pretty good. I'm proud of you. You made a joke off the top of your head. That was really good.
Okay.
Good job, buddy.
You're touching me a lot. All right, so let's wrap.
Let me. So
one more thing.
So retirement, education, survivorship, and what I'll do in case any of the financial advisor community finds this helpful is to have that conversation, to facilitate that conversation. All I do is I use eMoney, or Wealth Vision eMoney is my planning software, and I just put the balance sheet up on the screen. And I'll put the balance sheet up on the screen, and there's one you can show the current balance sheet, and you can show the at death balance sheet. And the balance sheet at death is who owns what's includable in whose portion of the estate, and you can see the ownership. Is it single? Is it joint? How are the assets titled? And what I'll do is I put that up on the screen, and I will ask them, like, okay, here are all your assets. You've got $3.75 million, and here are all your accounts. Are you aware if, and I'll kill one of them in the meeting. I'll say, Keith doesn't come home tonight. Sarah.
Could you put it another way?
What happens?
I'll kill one of them in the meeting.
Yeah. I don't sugarcoat things, just to the point sometimes.
Let's just say if he was not around, something happened.
Okay, I'm sure I'm probably softer in my meetings, but
for
the sake of the podcast, I kill somebody in the meeting.
Somebody off.
And then, so the balance sheet is on the screen, and then I'll ask them, so do you know what assets transfer, what runs through probate, and what is going to move through beneficiary designation? And I'll let them look at and kind of start.
How often do they get it right?
It just depends on the
individual.
It depends on. I mean, I have some people that are pretty sophisticated, but I mean, there's always some people will get like 90% of it, and then some people will just throw their hands up and say, "I have no idea." Well, that's why I'll call you. Yeah, I'll call you. It just depends on the individual, but it's always a learning experience. There's no matter the smartest person that I work with, they always pick something up from that exercise.
You know what I used to do? Don't do it anymore. It's just when we're going over the plan and we're talking about, legacy or distribution or survivorship mainly, kind of like, here's everything. We want to make sure you know where everything is in the event something happens. And then they say, well, okay, what do we do? And I take out a little yellow Post-it and I write on there, call Keith. That's your plan.
Well done.
And then they look at me and obviously it's a joke. And I said, no, seriously, but do keep that. No, we do kind of the same thing, walk them through that process. But anyway, core financial planning, I think we covered all steps.
Retirement, education, survivorship. That's part of the plan. And then
accumulation, protection, distribution.
Investments and taxes. And when I say
They're
taxes.
all tax.
So let's talk about what we're doing on taxes. I know I was actually surprised when we first kind of became friends. I was like, oh, Keith is way smarter than I thought he was.
Why?
Because you were doing a lot of tax work.
I do tax returns for my clients. I don't hold myself out there.
Yeah.
I think a financial advisor should be involved with taxes, should prepare tax returns so they know the tax code. And the other thing that bugs me about taxes, we're trying to do Roth conversions, we're trying to do this and that and the other, and the CPA or the accountant says, no, don't do that because your tax bill is going to be higher. And their whole job is, how much can I save you in taxes this year? Mm-hmm. Without planning for the future.
Yeah.
And so,
well,
we have to look at the, are we going to convert up to the 22 or 24% bracket, things like that?
No, I think more financial advisors should do taxes, especially if you're starting a practice. I've said this a million times, I would become an EA where I just get my PTIN and prepare taxes and build a business that way. The biggest issue that I see is the accounting industry. It's CPAs have way too much volume to deal with. Accountants they're doing 300, 500, 700 returns inside of 3 months. And the volume of information and documents and data entry, it's not their fault. It's the system, damn it. Yeah. The system.
Well, a little secret, and you know this, the CPA is not preparing your return.
I know, but
they pass it off, and then fill in the numbers.
If I had 700 people, I couldn't conduct that many meetings physically and spend an hour to 2 hours going over the forward planning that needs to get done. And that's what there's a huge hole, or that's where the need is, and that's I actually pick up a good amount of clients because they're starved for forward tax planning, and we do it. We incorporate it in. And
let me just say
I can go granular on it rather than
Let me put this out there. This does not constitute tax advice. Please seek your professional tax advisor. We do not give tax or legal advice. We're just
two guys talking. We're not giving any advice.
But, Mr. Compliance Officer is going to see this. So
see what? You didn't see nothing.
Well, in any case, all the investments, the tax planning is interwoven with your sleep disorder RES system.
Yeah.
As well as my accumulation, protection, and distribution system. Mm-hmm. But just keep that in mind. When you're seeing a financial advisor, it's more than...
It should be more.
It should be more than just invest this money or roll this 401k for me.
We produce a very specific, detailed report on that's based on the tax return for every single client that we're working with, and that is the basis for the advice that we're giving. So when somebody comes in and says, should I be contributing to my Roth 401k or my pre-tax side of my 401k, or should I just kind of dial back and contribute to a non-qualified account? Well, how do you make those decisions? Well, you need some type of mathematical basis besides, the old you think tax rates are going to go up in the future, which is a subjective conversation. You need a mathematical basis in which you are making those recommendations to people. So it starts with a thorough evaluation of the current tax situation. And we produce very specific reports that allow us to give that type of advice.
And it's ongoing. It's a relationship. And so that's the other misnomer that some folks...
I hate nomers.
I miss them, though.
You miss them?
I miss them.
Okay.
Nomer, he was my cousin. I miss him. Cousin Nomer.
That sounds like a southern name. Nomer.
Cousin Nomer.
Cousin Nomer.
I miss Nomer.
Hey, y'all.
I miss Nomer.
That reminds me of the video that you did, the retire.
Retire?
I want to retire. This guy called. I called a tire company. A tire store. And said, I want to retire.
I said, how much is it? How much would it be to retire?
You have to put that one up on. It's probably one of the worst videos. as far as I didn't think it was funny at all, but it was so not funny. It was funny.
I had a great time. That sounded like Foghorn and Leghorn or something.
It was. It was so bad it was good. That was my perception.
Where was I? I was talking about missing my cousin Nomer.
Misnomer.
The misnomer with some folks
What about
is
Mr. Nomer?
build the plan. Here's your blueprint. Adios. And it can't be adios because that plan is going to change almost every year. Your income is probably going to change. Hey, I got a bonus, I got a promotion, or I got a divorce, I got fired, and we've got to tweak the plan. So I know with you...
Little tweaks.
Well, depends on the life event.
Right. I was actually...
But sometimes it's just a checkup, everything's okay, investment checkup.
I was thinking...
But I want to finish that thought. Ongoing relationship is what I'm seeking when I'm building a plan, not just a one shot. I'm not a relationship with you. He's holding my hand again. That's another misnomer. Don't let the earring fool you, okay?
Edit and post. I don't remember what I was going to say now.
Do you do one-off, just a financial plan without asset management with it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I will. So
some don't. I do.
So my caveat is, I will do that if I have capacity, depending on what's going on.
Right.
You got to catch me at the right time. So if I have capacity at that current moment in my practice, I will do it. And then, if the person, they have assets that are manageable, I will clearly articulate to them, like, the reason I'm doing this plan, like, you're going to leave with a deliverable that you can implement anywhere. That's always my promise to you. You're giving me whatever, $2,500. I'm going to leave you with this document that you can implement and you can do on your own. You could hire somebody else, but in a couple of years, it's going to be outdated and you're going to need to redo it. And I'm invested. The reason I'm putting in this much time up front is I think that you are somebody would be a good fit to do business long term. Yeah. I hope that you see me as a type of person
the time comes, yeah,
that you would want to do business in an advisory relationship long term. And in an advisory relationship long term, I'm paid through the asset management piece, pays for I'm not going to double dip. You're going to pay for the plan once now up front because I have no idea if you're going to do any business with me in the future. And you don't have to buy anything from me. There's no obligation. The client doesn't have to worry. Are they going to try and sell me an annuity? Are they going to try and sell me insurance? Are they going to try and sell me Are they going to try and sell me something to compensate them for the time? No, you're going to buy my brain once. And you're also going to figure out, is this somebody that I want to work with long term? And if we're working on putting a plan together for over 2 months, you can really see how that advisor, how that person operates.
All right. We've been rambling on for a while. RES.
What do you got, a mouse in your pocket?
No, you have. I have let you.
I've been making some very cognizant, poignant points. Poignant points.
Yeah, about your sleep disorder.
I've not been rambling.
No. Well, just to wrap it up, just core financial planning. That's the crux of it. What do you think? Maybe we'll change this sign back here to those financial guys?
Them financial people.
Are you going to come back? Are we going to make this an ongoing thing?
Probably not. No, I don't.
Okay, great.
I have no desire to see you this frequently.
All right, we'll see you next week then.
Sounds good.
All right, take care. If you like what you're seeing so far, check out this next video. Subscribe to the channel. Lord willing, we'll see you next time.